Alright, what's up, guys? I'm back with another what if. Sorry, my words are fucked up right now. You know what I mean? My tongue is a little numb right now because I did something. Numb it, and don't even ask. Yeah. So basically, this is the redo, by the way. So only, as far as I could tell, only one person got it right, and let me check who that is real quick. Real quick. Sorry, this is Discord. I watch a lot of Fast and Furious because, I fucking love Fast and Furious. And, let me see. Fuck, which one was it? Oh, this one. Bro, I fucking sound cringy as fuck. No cap. Alright, it was like a green color fucker. I mean, sorry, no, not fucker. I don't think it was this one, honestly. Maybe it was a different one. Maybe it's this one. But I remember someone getting it right, so, yeah. True, I love rainy days. It's not raining right now. Fuck. I can't find it right now, but, I remember someone posting something about it being the offer 1-1, and I will take, his suggestion just right now after this video. I would do it right now, but, I'm doing this, and, yeah. So, yeah. Alright, so basically, this is gonna be the redo, by the way, so yeah. And this is what Midoriya is gonna look like as he gets older. So, yeah. Alright. So, basically, where this is gonna start off is, when, All For One, he's in his laboratory. He's in his laboratory, and he's, like, basically on a tablet. And on the tablet, and by the way, they're in a warehouse full of a shit ton of, Nomus. But like this is not like the last part when I explained it. No, this is basically the beginning of the Nomus. You know what I mean? Like the idea, like when the idea first began about the Nomus. So All For One just thought of like, oh wait, what if we could make creatures to have a shit ton of quirks? And he was like, so the doctor came in, like metaphorically, the doctor came in. He was like, hey yo, I'll cook your shit up real quick. But the doctor's always been there, so he just like he was there, so the doctor did it. He was like, I'm not sure, but I think the doctor's quirkless, but I'm not sure. So yeah, and yeah. Alright, so All For One right now, he's in a warehouse and he's on a tablet. The doctor's looking into a containment cube that's filled with a purplish liquid, and inside that purplish liquid is a human being. Not a human being, but like a shit ton of body parts inside the tube. And the doctor, he's basically like typing onto the containment cube's keyboard. So there's a keyboard connected. Sorry, there's a keyboard connected to the. There's a keyboard connected into the fucking the tube. So whatever he types in there, like he says, like enter, like the whatever update or like whatever was supposed to be fixing inside the tube, it'll just go directly into that tube. But if he wanted to access all of them in the same time, he'll go to like the one next to All For One or some shit. I'm not sure. Like I do know, but I'm just too lazy to describe it. So yeah. And by the way, the person who made this was obviously no name. My dumbass is incapable of doing this. So yeah. And so Midoriya, he's gonna have some fucking tattoos, but So yeah, All For One, he's sitting down in like master's seat type shit, he's like sitting down with the tablet, And like in my other like in my other fucking what if Deku had all for one, he's doing the same thing. But if you're not like familiar with what I'm doing, let me describe it to you what he's doing. All right. So basically, all for one on the computer. Sorry, Discord type shit. You know what I mean, right? Yeah. So yeah, that like basically all for one has like a tablet, and in the tablet there are like a shit ton of names on each side. On each side, the list is so long that the words could be so like tiny as fuck, but you'll still have to like skim through it, like putting your finger on that side, like skimming through them bitches. You know what I mean? So yeah, basically all for one, he's like looking through the tablet, and like all of a sudden he gets a notification, right? And so he clicks on the notification, and it sends him to a fucking the same app, like not the same app. It sends him to the same email, but like it's basically a due date. Basically, all for one, he smiles real quick, and he like fucking tells the doctor like, doctor, go to the not go to the he tells the doctor like, doctor, another one's been born, and the doctor, he smiles, and he's like, yes, master. And holy shit, let me try to see if I can find all for one, but maybe no. This is Midoriya, by the way. This is gonna be Midoriya when he like kind of grows up. This is gonna be Midoriya when he's like 14, because this looks like a 14-year-old Midoriya. Except in this one it looks like he has like green eyes, or somewhere around that, but he's gonna have red. So he's gonna have white hair and red eyes, just like all. Oh, please don't snitch, please. I didn't mean to show you. So yeah, what's up? Sorry for that. If you saw it, you saw it. If you didn't see it, please don't go back. I'm sorry for that. That was just I know you guys keep saying it's fine, but to me, I still feel guilty because there might be some people who are younger and don't say anything. Please, please just don't say anything. I mean, whatever, you could say whatever you want, but just don't snitch, alright? You could say whatever you want, but just don't snitch. Please. I don't want to, get banned or whatever, get a warning, because, you only get a few warnings in YouTube. So, yeah, basically, this is going to be all for one, right? So, yeah. He looks like this because, this is before he got his potato head looking ass, right? Right? So, he basically looks down on the tablet. He smiles. He looks at the doctor, and he tells the doctor, "Doctor, another one's born." And the doctor, he's like, "Oh, really, master?" And then another notification like happens, and like all for one looks down, and he smiles again. Sorry, so my English could be a little fucked up right now. So he smiles again, and he tells the doctor like, doctor, and like the doctor looks at him like a little confused because like two good things like can't be possible. So like he just looks at all for one. All for one's like, it's time for you to go to the hospital and do your fucking checkups and shit. The doctor's like, okay, did I say master for fucking the doctor to call all for one? Well, nah. He just calls him sir. If I say master, it's because I say master, but it's sir. The doctor calls all for one sir. So yeah. Oh shit, it's a full moon. Oh hell yeah. Bro, I'm turning into a werewolf. Look, my fangs are coming out. You see, if you were looking at my face, you could see my fangs and shit. See, I'm like, I was born with sharp teeth, just like, like in the vampire location type shit, So I have fangs. And I have fangs on my lower jaw too, so like same shit, but under my under jaw. So yeah, all for one, he smiles, he looks at the doctor, he tells the doctor, go to the hospital and do your daily checkups on the children. And like the doctor tells him like, yes sir, and he just basically gets off the computer and he just walks out of the warehouse. Yeah, he walks out of the warehouse. And he basically goes to the hospital and takes a quirk. Well, I'm not sure how that shit happens actually. Sorry if you see this. I'm not ignoring you. Just so you know, I'm doing a video. It's pretty obvious. I don't like answering text messages in the Discord unless it's like really important, you know. But other than that, I'll pause it if you know. Yeah. So yeah, back to the story. Sorry, I just screenshot this from YouTube because yeah. So if I didn't say this before, No Name created this, and yes, thank you, No Name. And by the way, this is my Instagram picture, so I'm not gonna say my Instagram because I don't feel like it's worth mentioning. But yeah, this is my Instagram picture, and if you happen to run across it, whatever, you can do whatever you want. Block me or just like skim through it or follow. I don't honestly just don't care. I only post like this is my only post on my Instagram. So, yeah. And this is gonna be Midoriya when he's a fucking like what in like college years. So by the way, you could decide if Midoriya actually no, you don't decide that. You don't decide that. All right, so this is what's gonna happen. All right, All for One tells the doctor. The doctor goes to the hospital and like checks on the kid's quirk. He checks on the kid's quirk, and then All for One. I'm not sure how they do it actually. I'm really not sure. But hey, honestly, I just saw a picture of fucking 13. If you don't know who 13 is, 13 is a hero. And if you don't know, like, you still don't know who, 13 is. 13 is the girl from, the USJ arc. Yeah, it's her. And I gotta say, she is low-key pretty fine. I mean, like, in the fucking manga, you only get to see her, like, this, like, a quarter of her upper face, like, her right side of her face. And, like, just by, like, the hair, you can tell that she has short hair, beautiful eyes, clearly. And, yeah, she is just beautiful. So, I would, just by all that information I collected from, just that simple look, smash or pass, I'd smash. So, yeah. Alright, so yeah, back to the story. All for One, he gets bored of doing nothing all day, so he goes and he goes to a club, same shit, but All for One, it's gonna be more of a douche. So yeah, All for One has like a 13-incher, by the way, so I'm not gonna describe it, just saying, mentioning it. So yeah. And like some of this is gonna be like the beginning of Midoriya's young years, like 6, like the age of 6, age of 7, all that bullshit. So yeah. And sorry. Whoa, fuck, whoa. Bro, I need to stop doing that shit like fuck. No, bro, no, what the fuck? Get out of there. Bro, I need to stop touching the screen unless I need to, like, keep it from turning off. But hey, please don't snitch. Don't be no 6ix9ine. Don't be a rat. Don't be a snitch, alright? Just generally, just don't be a snitch. You'll get booty raped or something if you go to jail. You're gonna go to jail for a shorter time, but you're still gonna go to jail. But yeah, well, at least I heard, because, I have a cousin in the slumber right now, dude, and, he's facing some hardcore times right now. But hey, whatever. Just kidding. I have no cousin in jail. Like, the worst thing that's happened to any of my cousins, it's just like a breakup from a girl and whatever. And it's not important, whatever. So yeah. Alright, so All for One, he gets up. He like the doctor. By the way, the doctor came back to the house, like the warehouse, and he like All for One was like, I'm leaving. And, like the doctor was fucking like shitting his pants real quick, because when All for One said that, he said it with like a little bit of anger in himself, like a little bit of anger. And if you're curious, like if you're wondering why All for One's angry, it's just All for One. Even like All for One wasn't angry at all. Like he wasn't. Like, he is not angry. He's just saying, like, I'm leaving. But, like, you know, like, to him, it's like he's saying leaving like a normal person. But for everybody else, it's like with anger and with bloodlust leaking out. So his bloodlust is like purple and shit. You know how like in Hunter x Hunter, you know, like when people use their nin, it turns purple and shit. I'm not sure how that works actually, but you know when they use it, I watched Hunter x Hunter, but you know like it's like fucking I watched that shit like a long ass time ago. So yeah, and you know he basically released a little bit of that shit. You know like a little bit, and actually yeah he just released it. Oh, like the doctor was scared, so he fell to his knees, and like all for one was like, when he said I'm leaving, he didn't even look at the doctor, so he left. He closed the door. All for like the doctor was on his knees, like scared. So yeah, all for one has a shit ton of bloodlust from all the shit he's been through, and yeah. And by the way, I'll tell you guys if this is gonna be a hero what if, a villain what if, and like a fucking a vigilante what if. I'll tell you, just let me get to the story, and you'll probably like some of you guys will probably guess, or yeah, you'll probably like try to pick up Midori's attitudes and his influences to like determine what he's gonna be. Check in. All for one goes to a club, he's drinking and shit. And by the way, I'm gonna be taking my what ifs real serious. I'm not really, I'll be taking some time off, like some breaks and shit, like to not do my what ifs, but I'll be taking them serious. Like I will crack a joke or two, but I'm just gonna take them serious. I need to get my what ifs straight. I'm gonna stop doing 18 plus for all my videos, just like 1 or 2 videos each. Like I'm gonna do one 18 plus, and then like skip 2 videos and then do another one. That type shit. But yeah. All for one goes to a club. He sees a girl. He likes her, but he doesn't walk up to her because he doesn't like her, but he finds her attractive, and it's Inko. So yeah, it's Inko. So yeah, Inko. She's drinking whiskey right now. She's drinking whiskey. Inko could handle her beer or whiskey, whatever, or alcohol. And all for one, he's drinking a $200 bottle worth of whiskey. Yeah. And yeah, he's just drinking it. He orders another bottle. And a couple of girls, like 2 girls, see them. And those 2 girls that see him are girls who seduce men into, like, be like, hey, why don't you buy me a fucking computer and I'll show you something. And, yeah, they're just basically fucking gold diggers. Well, give me a second. My dad's got a new whiskey bottle. It's called Every Clear. Yeah. But yeah. So yeah, if you're wondering why I shared that information with you, it's just that, I just wanted to share it, just for a little bit of a side little, not a story, but just a little side interesting, for those of you who were, no, I'm not gonna finish that, whatever, fuck. So yeah, basically, all for one, he's drinking a bottle of whiskey. At this point, all for one has white hair, red eyes. Red eyes because honestly, I've seen like a shit ton of anime characters with like red eyes and white hair, and like never with white hair with another color, to be honest. But if I have, then I just fucking Soul Eater. Soul has white hair, fucking red eyes, and Belle from that one show, that one anime. I mean, white hair, red eyes. Yeah, like those are 2 examples of characters who have that. Yeah. So, he's drinking and shit, all for, like, the 2 girls who were seducing a guy into, like, trying to make him, like, buy them, like, what, like, like what, like try to make him buy them like them shit that they don't need, but like they just think it's fun to have. Like one girl wants a computer. She's a basically a prostitute. Even though like she doesn't need a fucking computer, she just likes what she does. She just likes making guys spend money on her. It makes her feel good. The other girl is just I don't fucking know. She wants a fucking wedding ring or some shit. I'm not sure. Gold jewelry. There you go, jewelry. I'm not sure what kind. Don't ask. So yeah, so basically, that happens. They see All For One drinking. They see him put like $200 on the table, or not on the table, like at the bar, and he gets a bottle of whiskey, and he puts down another $200 and gets another bottle, right? So the girl stops seducing that one dude, and the dude's basically sad at this point because he fucking lost girl. He all lost him because he never had him, but just dead. Why am I getting into this shit? It's not important. Fuck. So basically the girls walk up to him, they're like, "Hey, yo, let's get a drink and all that." He's like, "Nah." They say, "Why not?" He's like, "Whatever." So they walk away, and Inko walks up to him. She's like, "Wow, you're mean," and she's like, he goes like, "Fuck." Alpha was like, in a sarcastic way. Inko's like, "Wow, you're pretty mean," and all that. Alpha was like, whatever. He scuffs, and they basically talk and they have sex, right? And then they talk and they have sex. So let me tell you a few differences about Deku's All For One. Let me just tell you a few differences. So I'm not sure if All For One could do this, but if Midoriya has two quirks that are compatible, like a fire and ice quirk, like Todoroki's, for example. You know how like theirs mixes into like a perfect sync and shit. So yeah, if he were to get two quirks and they were compatible, they would fuse together and make one new quirk. So yeah, all right, yeah, 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 yeah. All right. And then Midoriya's All For One, it takes half the time to steal a quirk that All For One's quirk does. So All For One, as far as I can tell, could take like a good 10 seconds to take a quirk and give a quirk. And Midoriya, he takes like 5 seconds to take a quirk and give a quirk. And Midoriya, and All For One cannot take All For One from, like, he can't take the All For One from Midoriya because Midoriya's quirk, like, Midoriya's All For One is more, like, not more, it's stronger because, remember, as the generations go down, the quirks get stronger as they get passed down. All For One, he's like, I found a successor. Shigaraki will still be in this, but like he'll be like second in command or some shit. Yeah. And by the way, you guys get to choose who the fucking UA traitor is, and if you want there to be a traitor, you could decide. But if you don't want there to be a traitor, whatever, I'll hold it. Like, I might make it someone, I might not. I just might make it like some shit. I'm not sure I'm gonna make it, but it depends what you guys want, is how I'm gonna do it. And by the way, I'm gonna give Midoriya some quirks. I'm gonna give Midoriya some quirks that will help him out in his, trial to do whatever the fuck he wants. So yeah, it's basically Inko. Yeah, they fuck and all that. 9 months later, Inko's in the hospital. She's giving birth. She gives birth to Midoriya, and Inko's like, the doctor's like, "Well, ma'am, your baby's so cute and all that." They're basically like, the nurses are hyping Inko up, like, like, "Oh, your baby's so cute and shit." Inko looks at them, and they're like, they get like a whoa, like a what type shit, They're like, "What?" Like, whoa, like what, like what's wrong with her type shit, and like she tells them like, "I don't want the baby," and the fucking nurses are like, "What?" And she's like, "I don't want the baby," and the fucking doctor, he speaks up and he's like, "Why not, ma'am?" And she's like, "If I'm gonna have a child, I might as well have a father. Like, no, no, I might as well have a baby daddy. Like, no homo. Like, not for me. Like, no homo. But like she says, like, I need a baby daddy to support me, because in this one, Inkle's sort of a bitch. So yeah. So you guys get to decide what happens to Inko. So if you guys wanted to overdose on heroin, or die in a car crash, or just some shit, you guys get to decide what happens to her. And if you guys make her live, I'll do something with her. I might not. I just might make her, like, if you don't want me to kill her, uh I'll save her for a little bit of time and then kill her off. I don't know. I'm just gonna do something. But you guys get to decide what happens to Inko. So Inko, she's like, she tell, she gives the baby back to the nurse. She tells them, "I don't want this baby," or whatever. And you're like, and then the fucking nurses are like a little sad because the baby was actually pretty cute because Midoriya, he's a silver fox. Well, at least he's gonna get there when he's like what, like 15, 14. What? Yeah, This one's gonna, like, he might have piercings, just like depends. Wait, same dude, yeah, same dude. Yeah, he's got piercings. So yeah, Midoriya's gonna have piercings, tattoos, and all that. And the necklace, yeah, you got the same shit. Also, yeah, he's got a necklace. I don't want to exit out of this shit because I got my pictures and like my self pictures, and I would exit out of there to like copy this thing and make it to whatever. I mean, it's just too much information. So she just tells him like, I don't want it, as long as I'm not gonna have, like, as long as he's not gonna have a father to pay the bills and shit, give child support, she's not gonna want him. So they put him into adoption center. And Midoriya, he's basically unadopted right now because in this one, people are treated like worse than shit because they're like, in this one, there's still 20% of people who don't have quirks, but they're treated worse. So yeah, so people, if they're gonna adopt children, they want the children to have a strong quirk or a quirk. You know what I mean? So yeah. And All For One, at this point, he doesn't know of Midoriya's existence. If he were to find out, he'll find out what I'm gonna do, like, in a few minutes. So Midoriya, he's like, what, fucking a month, like a couple days old. Then like he's at a nun's place. Yeah, he's at a nun's house. Nah, fuck, he's at a church. And by the way, when I speak of God, I speak with respect. And I might cuss, but I'm gonna pray real quick if I'm gonna pause it. Alright? I'm gonna pause it. Just relax. I make like 2-minute prayers to, for the Lord to forgive me. And I'm religious. I believe in God, Jesus. So yeah. And, fuck, my hair's messed up. I need to fucking comb it. But, it's late at night. It's like, what? Fucking 12. Whoa. So Midoriya, he's at a church, and he's he's in a crib, and the nuns are basically like they're just speaking, like they're praying to God, and they're like, "Oh Lord, please, our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this daily bread, forgive those who trespass as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Amen." Like those type of prayers. They're praying the Our Father, Hail Mary, Glory be, and like other prayers that are too advanced for me to know. Yeah. And why am I on this? So yeah. One of the nurses looks into Midoriya's eyes, and like not nurses, what the fuck? Sorry, sorry. Pause it. Alright, I'm back. Sorry. I sinned. I'm sorry. I had to pause it. I had to pray for forgiveness. Alright. So basically, where is this? Alright. So one of the nuns looks into Midoriya's eyes, and like they just look into his crib, but like his bright red eyes just like Midoriya, his crib is like sort of in the dark, but his eyes are bright enough to like see in the dark. You know what I mean? Fuck, bro. When I said like bright red eyes, like, I shit you not, but like I'm low-key kind of scared right now because I'm outside, and like I'm facing the wall, and like there's like a whole ass pole, and like You know, like a lot of space for something to peek up behind me, and like, whoa. If I face this direction, then there will be a window to like, for some old lady, walk behind me, possess me or some shit. That's scary as fuck, bro. Oh shit, yeah. Yeah. So basically, the nurse just like, not the nun basically looks into crib. She kind of like, she's a little scared because like Midoriya's red eyes, red like white hair, caught her off guard, and yeah, Midoriya's quirk hasn't happened yet. Don't worry. So time skip. Midoriya's 3 years old, like three, almost about to turn 4 years old, right? Actually, no, he's 4 years old. He's about to go to the quirk doctor for like the nuns to like see how like what his quirk is and shit. And so basically, there's a kid, right? There's a bully at the church, and the kid basically has a quirk. He's like 5 years old, right? He's 5 years old. Midoriya's 4, and he has a quirk that allows him to teleport his body into like to different locations. Not different locations, but to travel his body into like in a fucking in another world or some shit, like a dimension, right? And I'll tell you what this is from. Just give me a minute. Let me get developed to that point. Let me just finish describing the quirk real quick. And this quirk is from an anime, but I'm not gonna tell you which anime. You're probably gonna figure it out. I mean, some of you guys are pretty smart, so you guys are gonna figure it out like just by the information I give you now. So yeah, for those of you who can't figure it out, let me explain more. So the kid could he could lift up his hands and he could create like sort of like portals. You know what I mean? Not portals, but like it's basically like, hold on, give me a sec. Actually, not like that. No. So basically, the portals like it looks like they're warping inwards. You know what I mean? So if you were to like fucking, alright. So basically, it's the Kamui. Alright, it's the Kamui. Yeah, it's the Kamui. Kamui. Yeah. Fuck, I don't know how to say it right. The Kamui. Alright. So basically, he could do this. Look, he could teleport his body into another dimension, but he doesn't have too much control over it. But don't worry, nothing's gonna happen to Midoriya. Just listen that. So yeah, basically the kid has the power to like teleport his body into a different dimension and come back, and he has the ability to like make portals, not portals, like fucking, yeah, whatever. He can make portals in like above his hand, but not on his hand. You know what I mean? So like the portals could like warp inwards, but like they're in his hand. You know what I mean? It's like it's a key bat, a key. Fuck, it's a key blast, but it's instead of a key blast. The ball is just something that looks physical, but it's not. If you were to touch it, your hand will get sucked in and shit. So basically, it looks like a key blast, but like it's being warped in. You know what I mean? Like it's being like warped and shit, right? So he could like throw like the key like a fucking. He could throw the Kamui like a certain distance, and like it'll warp the ship to somewhere else, right? It could warp it to a different dimension. And the kid was basically using his quirk, so he would throw a punch in front of Midoriya and warp his hand behind Midoriya and hit him in the back of the head. So this bully is basically a dick. He's basically a Bakugo, right? He's basically a Bakugo. And he hits Midoriya in the back of the head. And Midoriya, he stands up and he's like, stop it, Brian, or yeah, Brian. He said like, not Brian, fuck. He says stop it, fucking. I don't know, fucking Brian. Yeah, whatever, Brian. He said stop it, Brian. Brian was like, whatever, and he fucking, he threw another hit, and Midoriya's gonna turn back and try to catch it, but the portal got worked from there to next to him, which socked him in the jaw. And Midoriya's like, ow, that hurt and shit. And fucking Midoriya, like the kid basically, like Midoriya was like, he's 4 years old, so he can't take a punch. Remember that. So he's not built for that yet. All right, yeah, he's not built for that. So he basically the kid basically walks over Midoriya and be like, "You're weak, you're weak, Deku." That's where he's gonna get the name from. But Midoriya's not gonna use the name Deku. I'm gonna call him Deku, but some like people are gonna call him Izuku or some shit. So Midoriya's last name after he gets out of this shit is basically gonna be something. I'm not sure. I'll tell you guys later. So Midoriya, he basically like the guy walks above him. He's like, "You're weak, Midoriya. You're weak, Deku," and he just throws a punch at Midoriya, but like he doesn't warp his hand. So this is the part where the quirk kicks in. All right, so basically the quirk, Midoriya lifts up. Fucking hell, man. All right, we're 30 minutes deep in, so I can't do another redo. I'm fucking tired. So the kid throws a straight up punch at Midoriya. Midoriya, he lifts up his hand to block it and shit. Just like soften. Whatever. Fuck it. He just tried to get hit in the arm instead of the face. So, he got hit in the arm. He got hit in the fist, not the palm actually. He got hit in the palm. So as soon as the guy's fist made contact with Midoriya's palm, red lightning started to appear. So yeah, and as far as I could tell, the red lightning is a sign of not a sign, but it's just it's like a show off of his quirk. So give me a second. All right, what's up? Sorry, I had to go real quick because I got a little thirsty, so I had to drink some water. So yeah, and basically what happens now is as soon as the palm of the kid made contact with Midoriya's hand, his palm. As soon as the kid's fist made contact with Midoriya's palm, Midoriya grabbed onto it, and the kid he didn't pull he saw Midoriya squeeze onto his hand. He told me Midoriya Midoriya, that's not gonna work. But Midoriya's he says I don't care, I'm still gonna try. And basically as soon as Midoriya said that, All For One, not All For One himself, but the quirk, the one All For One 2.0, it's basically Midoriya's quirk. It kicked in and stole the kid's quirk. And Midoriya's the kid was basically whatever. And he tried to warp his hand away and shit. But it didn't work, and the kid basically is like, "What happened to me?" and shit. And he looks at Midoriya, he's like, "What did you do to me?" And, fucking Midoriya's like, "I didn't do nothing to you." And to make matters worse for that douchebag of a kid, I'm gonna say that kid had 2 appointments to get adopted because of his strong quirk. And then the kid was he's but my quirk and all that, the fucking ladies it's probably taking a breast or some shit. So they just he wouldn't stop complaining, so they took his ass to a fucking quirk doctor, including Midoriya, because remember, he's 4 years old. And then Midoriya basically, he's at the quirk doctor, he's being examined. The quirk doctor's "Whoa, this is very interesting." And fucking the ladies, the nuns, are basically "Oh, what is it, fucking doctor?" And they're no, he's it seems like this boy has the quirk of the other boy. And the nuns are "What?" So they look at Midoriya, and Midoriya's looking at his hands and shit, and his palms are facing his face, by the way. So his palms are facing his face, and he's looking at him, and if you look closely into his palms, you could see little wormholes and shit, warping holes, in his hands. After a second or two, it dissipates, and he does it again, it dissipates. He can't control it, that's why. And yeah. I was gonna leave you off with a cliffhanger, but not yet. I was just gonna say that to get you guys all hyped up and shit. What the fuck? What? So yeah, like the doctor, by the way, Dr. Ujiko. And if you don't know who Dr. Ujiko is, then you're gonna find out in a second. So, if you don't want to find out, I mean, it's pretty obvious. I mean, honestly, that's kind of obvious. I figured it out too. Fucking, if I didn't even need a fucking confirmation about the doctor being Uji, like the doctor from the hospital being Uji, fucking the doctor who helps All For One. The glasses, the fucking beard. Well, unless he's got an evil twin, like, shit, that don't exist. But, whoa. Like, to me, that don't exist or whatever, yeah. And, I'm gonna try to do my what ifs in the morning now. So, for those of you who, who want to see what ifs in the morning, we'll get my what ifs in the morning. So, yeah. And sorry. Fuck, I'm freaked out right now, bro. Like, no cap. Like, seriously, I'm kind of freaked out. I'm hearing some crazy ass noises in the background, and like, I'm fucking, a little scary right now. Hey, call me a pussy, but there's some freaky shit happening in my neighborhood. Yeah, but whatever. So basically, this is what happens. The doctor basically calls All For One. He hits him up. He's like, "Hey, yo, sir." All For One's like, "Yes. Did you find another one or something like that? Did you find a quirk that wasn't registered?" But like, what I mean by registered, I mean like, remember when they said that like All For One has that list in the tablet and shit? Well, basically in that list is a due date and like a registering like a due date for every single child that is gonna have a strong quirk that he needs or wants. So like the super regeneration, I'm not sure about that. I might make it a part of this, like make it a part of like like the story, meaning like make the kid who got the quirk taken away. Like I might make it a kid who had that quirk, or I might make it a full grown adult. I'm not sure. So yeah. And yeah. All like yeah, but the list, yeah, back to the list. So the list basically has like a shit ton of the quirks like that he needs or he wants, and like the other set of like he has like another list, by the way. So the other list is basically a list to arrange due dates. And when I mean not due dates, but like arrange meetings. And when I mean meetings, I mean like make people who have quirks that would like if they were mixed, like if their quirks were like combined, if their quirks like were combined to make a strong quirk, like the super regeneration quirk, like let's say the kid, like let's just say that the person who had the super regeneration quirk was arranged by All For One. So All For One basically made his parents meet at certain places and at certain times so they could have sex and have him, the guy with the regeneration. So All For One, he thinks this shit through. He's so smart that he could predict like if you were to take 2 steps and back off, a drop of water would happen. And like you take 2 steps, back off, a raindrop like falls. That type of shit. Fuck, I stuttered. So yeah. And like All For One, he's like, how is this possible? And All For One's like the doctor is basically like, did you have like sexual intercourse with any women? And like fucking All For One's like, he looks back and he remembers Ingo, and the fucking he's like All For One's like, yes, there was this woman with green hair. Oh, and the fucking doctor is like, well, apparently this boy is like in an orphan. All For One's like, he smiles a little bit, and he smiles a little bit, yeah. So if you don't know what I'm doing, it's kind of obvious. I don't see how you won't understand what I'm doing. You know what I mean? Whatever. I'll make it as simple as I can. So All For One, he basically he puts down the phone. The doctor puts down the phone, and the nuns, they basically talk to they're talking to Midoriya, and they're like, Midoriya, how could you do this? Like, what's this quirk, doctor? You know, like, the doctor's like, he's like, apparently he has two quirks now. And, you know, the fucking doctor's like, like, the nuns are like, what are they? And, you know, the doctor says, apparently, the quirks that he possesses now are basically, you know, the kid's quirk, and this like, this, like, actually, no, he says, one quirk instead of two, you know, just, like, making, you know, like, not so sketchy and shit, you know? Because he doesn't want the quirk all for one to be known. So he says apparently the boy just took the quirk, or the other boy just gave him the quirk by accident. And you know, like they basically say like whatever, like you know, this little boy doesn't have a quirk anymore, so he's useless as fuck. Midoriya's the new whatever, you know. So yeah, like basically, so Midoriya he's basically sitting down and all that. Everybody's staying away from Midoriya because they heard what happened, and like they basically like they're calling Midoriya a monster because you know like he took a quirk, which is pretty villainous in their eyes. I mean, I gotta admit it's pretty villainous, but you know it's fucking dope. To the people who don't like, to the people who, if you were to have that quirk, you'll be like, oh, like my quirk's not villainous, it's dope as fuck. But for the other people, it'll be villainous because you know they're jealous as fuck, right? They're jealous. You know, because, you know, they don't have it, so they're going to be hating on your ass. But shit, if someone else had it, I'd be hating. But if I had it, shit, I wouldn't be hating. You know how it be. Bro, if I was like fucking 21, dude, I'd be smoking a joint and, you know, throw my joint into the fucking, you know, into the pool. Let that shit burn out, you know, and just let it scatter and shit. You know how it be. Whatever. Sorry. Irrelevant to the story. So Midori, he's isolated from everybody. So like he's basically pulling off that Naruto scene. So everybody's standing next to the door to the entrance of at the church and shit. They're standing there and they're just like all talking to each other and like they're all like ooh like oh like my quirk's this and like my quirk's that. So instead of them talking about like oh I got my fucking headband from Naruto, they're just talking about quirks. Like oh my quirk's this, my quirk's that. And Midoriya he's being isolated. Everybody doesn't like him because you know he took a quirk, which is pretty villainous. So you know there's a tree and there's like the tree has a swing, you know. So you know Midoriya's like pulling that Naruto stun off. So you know he's like fucking swinging and shit. But instead of Naruto being alone and covered in like nine tails and shit, something pats him on the back of the head. Something pats him on the back of the head. Midoriya looks back, sees all for one. Alright, yeah, I'm just gonna be so blunt with it. Like, no surprise, you know, all for one. All for one, like, he tells him, like, hello, boy. You know, Midoriya basically looks up at him, he's like, hello. He, like, kind of stutters a little bit, he's like, hello? Because, you know, all for one kind of looks a little scary, like, no cap, looks like, what the fuck? Look at this dude, fucking scary as fuck. This dude built, like, you can obviously tell by, like, how thick his neck is and shit. You could tell. And you could, yeah, just tell, bro. You can obviously tell. And plus, you could tell by the fucking All For One that you see in My Hero. Like, in canon. Yeah, like, he has that fucking, he's, like, obviously pretty built. Stronger than All Might, for show. And if All For One didn't have the fucking injury, then All For One would have kicked All Might's ass. Because, you know, the backlash of not being able to take quirks that he wants are, you know, kind of fucked up. But, you know, All For One needs to train with his quirks, but he hasn't been able to train with his quirks ever since the incident, which was like, what, like 30-something years ago at the canon time. But, you know, this is before All For One got his injury, so yeah. Yeah. By the way, yeah, whatever, I'll explain it later on. So, yeah. Basically, he pats him on the back of the head. Midoriya hesitates and says, hello. Hello? And then, like, fucking, All For One was like, are you lonely? And all that, Midori says, yeah, he looks down and he's like, yes. And, All For One's like, he extends his hand again, but, like, to grab Midori's hand and shit. He's like, you don't have to be alone if you come with me. And, this is not pedophile-ish or anything like that. Anything like that. By the way, the nerds, like, the nuns, they don't like Midoriya either, so, yeah. They just don't like the fact that they have quirks, and their quirks are basic as fuck, so their quirks are just like, like zoom into shit, like you could see closer, like 2 times better to like someone, like 2 times better than a normal person. You could like, crush an ant with like a little bit of telekinesis or some shit like that. But they still treasure their quirks because they don't want to be true, like they don't want to be, treated like shit by others who do have their quirks still. So they isolate themselves from Midoriya as well. So yeah. All For One basically picks him up by the hand and he like lifts him up by the shirt. Not shirt. He puts Midoriya on his shoulders and he's like, let's go. And Midoriya basically says like, wait though. And All For One was like, okay. Yeah, he like puts Midoriya down. And like he basically says, I want to like I want to destroy this place. I'm just kidding. Nah, he just basically never mind. No, fuck that. I was actually being a little serious right there. No, I'm not gonna make that happen. Not like that. So basically, what happens is, All For One picks up Midoriya. He puts him on his shoulders and he smiles at Midoriya, and with like kind of like a happier smile, not with a villainous smile. He looks at Midoriya and he smiles. Midoriya, by the way, he has white hair, red eyes, so yeah. And fucking Midoriya doesn't like All Might. He thinks All Might's pretty cool, but like he doesn't like All Might. You know what I mean? So basically, All For One takes Midoriya to the fucking warehouse. He puts Midoriya down. He tells Midoriya, would you want some soda, some chips or some shit? Midoriya says yes. And basically, All For One's like, can I have a sample of your blood real quick? Midoriya doesn't know what that means because he's still like 4 years old. I mean, he knows what blood is, but he doesn't know what take a sample type shit. He's not like that ahead of his age and shit of intelligence. So he says yeah, sure. So the doctor takes a needle, sticks it in Midoriya. Midoriya flinches, and then doctor takes some blood and takes some blood from himself, like from All For One. And then they compare it, and Midoriya's 99%. It basically pulls off a fucking Endeavor and Dobby type shit. I mean, like 99% of positive of the son of Endeavor type shit. But in this case, Midoriya is like 99% positive, the son of All For One. So, yeah. So remember, you guys get to decide what happens to Ingo. You guys get to decide, yeah. And you guys get to decide who the fucking the hero fucking damn motherfucker. Fuck shit. Yeah, you guys get to decide who the D-Way traitor is. Don't worry, I'm not ending like in 10 minutes real quick. Just an hour-long video is pretty good. So this is just this is just a setting of how Midoriya came to be and shit, Bro, I wish like a good 20 minutes on All For One, dude. Like seriously, like that was unnecessary, but whatever. So yeah, All For One basically picks up Midoriya and he's like, "You are my son," and Midoriya smiles and shit. He hugs him and all that because Midoriya's been lonely ever since what happened to him, and he's never really had a father figure or a mother figure. It's just the nuns and like the rest of everybody else. So yeah, bro, like I need to fucking comb my hair, dude. I need to comb it, like seriously. So yeah, and Midoriya smiles, he laughs and all that, and All For One basically takes Midoriya to a little room with like a shit ton of quirks. And I'm not sure how that shit actually works, honestly. Remember when, Miracle basically, like, remember in the manga when Miracle basically, she crashed through the fucking, like, the wall, and, like, Uchiko's like, oh, you know how long it takes to make those, and, like, Miracle said something. I forgot what she said, to be honest. Even though she's really hot, I don't pay attention to her exactly. Like, her choice of words, I don't look at. I just look at her physique and her, her bunny tail and ears. So yeah. And so, basically all like those, how like the fucking quirks, they're held like in tubes with like a brown cube, thin cube type shit paper inside. Well, yeah. All for One basically opens one of the containers and he tells Midoriya to, like, to grab onto it and to absorb it or whatever, do whatever All for One does. And, Midoriya's like a little confused. He's like, whatever. So, he touches it, but like a little bit of red electricity sparks and shit. And, Midoriya basically, like, he pulls back real quick. All for One's like, no, try again. And, like, Midoriya tries again, and he takes the quirk. And the quirk is a sticky quirk. So, basically, it's bungee gum. Alright, I'm not going to describe that shit because, I did so terrible describing Kamui. So, bungee gum is no any different, like, not that different of explaining, honestly. Like, the shit's more, like, more explaining, but, so, yeah, I'm just saying it's bungee gum. If you don't know what bungee gum is, it's from Hunter x Hunter. Hisoka, I forgot that, yeah, I think that's the name, yeah, I forgot. Don't hate on me just for not knowing his name, please, yeah. Hisoka, he basically has, his Nen ability is bungee gum. I'm not sure what his Nen ability category stands under, honestly. It might be summoning type shit, I'm not sure how that works, but summoning type shit. So yeah, it's basically that. And Midoriya basically, like, All for One tells Midoriya, like, punch me. And, Midoriya's like, he's a little hesitant because, he doesn't want to punch him. And All for One basically tells him, like, punch me, Midoriya. Or, punch me. Midoriya's like, fine. So he punches All for One. And Midoriya, like, All for One got, like, he felt it because, even the fucking, Midoriya's like, what, 5 years old? Like, 4 years old, right? Midoriya's like 4 years old and he's like, All for One still felt it because, he felt it. And, like, All for One tried to make it seem like Midoriya, like, knocked him out or some shit like that. So, All for One basically took a leap back and made it seem like Midoriya, like, literally socked the shit out of his fucking leg. And Midoriya basically held his hands up and he's like, I'm sorry, and all that. And All for One's like, no, it's okay. And basically, at the, like, on Midoriya's right side, on Midoriya's right hand, you could see a pink aura connecting from his hand to All for One's leg. And Midoriya's like, what the hell? So, he pulls back, but, like, he's a little, like, he can't pull back anymore because, he's limited. Not limited, he doesn't know how to give himself extra length to, go further back or do some shit. Bro, my hands are so fucking cold that whenever I move my muscles, like, they literally, they feel weird as fuck. My hands are pink and purple. So yeah, I'm gonna end the video like in a few minutes. So yeah, All for One, takes he tells Midoriya, like, congratulations, you have a quirk and you are officially you are for sure my son. You inherited my quirk, and Midoriya's like, what, like, your quirk? And All for One basically, All for One gives him like the little bit. Actually, no, he doesn't tell him. Like, Midoriya's like, your quirk, what is your quirk? And Midoriya's like, fucking All for One's like, I'll tell you my quirk when you're older and you'll understand better. And Midoriya's like, yeah, sure, why not? So, they go their separate ways, but, like, not separate ways, you know what I mean? Like, All for One basically takes care of, like, nah, he's not fucking. He pays attention to Midoriya, but, like, he doesn't really, like, pay attention, you know what I mean? He's like, He's like, oh, what's up? Want some food? Like that shit. Bro, I shit you not, like, something happened. So, yeah, All for One, basically, he's in Midoriya's life, but he just trains Midoriya on handling his quirk, but he doesn't go too far. So he's like, oh, Midoriya, he's like, train your quirk. He helps Midoriya, like, understand his quirk better. And Midoriya's like 14 now, right? So Midoriya looks like this stunning fox, right? He's a silver fox. And I'm gonna end the video here because, some freaky shit's happening, so I'm leaving. Bye. I understand, by the way, P.S. I understand if you want me to make a redo. I honestly didn't put much mind into this video, honestly. But if you like it, you like it, so, yeah.